So, today I wanted to go over a few things in our show today. I wanted to get through, our Bitcoin and altcoin flash crash that happened over the weekend. Scared quite a few people. I think we dropped by about 15% over the weekend.
Right, from 60K to 50K. So it was really about a 20% drop off that local top.
Yeah, and that came at about 11 p.m. Friday night, was it?
Yes, it was. It was about 11 my time. So yeah, and look, everything was correlated. Like there were dumps in Link and other top tokens. Like the whole dump was completely correlated. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, I mean it was interesting, and so there was a couple reasons. People are speculating why this happened, right, at that time, and there was a couple reasons why. I mean, one, people thought that they may have sold based on the news of the power outage in China. Did you hear about that with the miners?
Yes, I did hear that, and that is possible. There was another thing that Dan Takashi posted about, and it was some investigation into it was something related to people doing money laundering with cryptocurrency, and there was a report that it was a rumor that the Treasury Department was looking into companies that have money laundered using cryptocurrency. And yeah, I mean, look, there's multiple opinions. We don't really know what to point to, but you have to look at the timing of these things and see how that lines up. I would say the closer that it was in time, that's going to give you a better indication of what impact it had. So the mining thing, I don't know exactly what time that happened or what time that news got out.
Well, Mike, I actually, if you go to our Discord, and for the listeners who are coming on, I'm sharing my screen on our Discord at the moment, and I want to show you something interesting, Mike, that I was working on before we came on this show. Let me just pull up this chart here. Okay, good. So if you go onto the Discord and you go into our squad talk, I'm sharing my screen right now, and I've pulled up the chart on Glassnode, which is, the mean hash rate chart. And I find this interesting because Bitcoin, a lot of the times, follows, the hash rate. So we can see here that on the exact time Bitcoin dropped, right before it, we had a huge drop in the mean hash rate. I mean, the biggest drop we've had over the past, over the past like 6 months, the most significant drop we've had over the past 6 months in the mean hash rate, and shortly thereafter, Bitcoin price followed. And this is just one pattern that I saw that I wanted to bring to your attention, because I thought it was very interesting that the price of Bitcoin was following that of the hash rate, and that there's some correlation there. So that was one reason, the drop in the hash rate, which was caused by the power outage in China, that may have led to the sell-off over the weekend and the drop of about 15 to 20% in price action. The other news report that may have contributed to this sell-off was that the U.S. was charging unnamed financial institutions with cryptocurrency-related money laundering. That's kind of like the report is so ambiguous.
Because look, the institutions are what brought us to this level. So if all of a sudden they're getting charged with money laundering, that's a huge, the market's going to take a huge dump on that news. So look, I personally think that is way more impact than, the mining outage. Sure, you could maybe say the mining outage had some effect, but how many people are paying attention to what's going on with the miners and the network? And I think the money laundering thing is much more material for investors.
But it was an ambiguous article. No one really understood, like, some unnamed, there's going to be some charges on some unnamed financial institutions for money laundering. That doesn't really tell me anything.
It actually does. It actually does, because if, there's one instance of this we could see multiple instances of this. And I'll tell you how this plays out in emerging markets. So, for example, and I always compare it back to the cannabis legalization in Canada back in 2017, 2018, because that's what I'm most familiar with. You had certain cannabis firms that were having issues with pesticides, right? And when there would be rumors that, or anything linked to pesticides, right? Because that's a market risk. It means they're not going to get their license, or their license is going to get taken away, or whatever. It's a market risk, and you have to identify what's the biggest market risk. Do you think the biggest market risk is a small portion of the mining power going down? Do you think people care about that in terms of the overall market, and that's just in Bitcoin?
I mean, I think the smart money does. I think the smart money cares about what the miners are doing. I think the retail investors don't.
I just see that being kind of small from an investor standpoint, and I don't know that they can really, the money laundering thing has much broader implications, and it prevents institutions from it takes away buying power big time. It scares people away. That's what, look, the mining thing doesn't, it's just like Ethereum, like high gas fees, right? Like, okay, that may impact the users of the network, right? But if I'm an investor, I'm saying, okay, well, that's just a small thing. That's kind of, we can expect that mining outages are going to happen. That's when we buy something that relies on a network, we anticipate, okay, well, there's going to be some outages because of electricity or whatever. Like, I think for institutions, they're probably doing that level of research, and they're saying, look, this is a risk that we can accept, and they have to look at what's the impact of said outage, right? Is it possible that a big portion of the mining power can go offline? And, their DD would probably tell them that, hey, well, it's pretty distributed in terms of the different mining groups. And, that might lead them to believe, okay, well, this is a risk that we can accept. So that's just my thinking, right? That's just my thinking from, they're trying to do their due diligence, and they're saying, look, this is technology, just like financial systems go offline, like, what is it? The Federal Reserve or the IRS had an outage, I forget, several months ago, and people are like, see, this is why we need Bitcoin, right? So there's these kind of risks are there. We know that they exist.
Mike, I just want to give a shout out to a few people, our listeners who continue to come back to our show, who are part of our Discord. Yo, welcome to the show, Mike, Larry, Draw. Yo, welcome to the show, Satoshi, DD Fowler, Fire Dog. We all appreciate you guys being here. Facing the crowd, thanks for sharing the show. Mike, Larry, Draw, what's up, brother?
I hate to say it, guys, but Bitcoin originally was used for the villains, for the money launderers, for the drug dealers.
Yeah.
They used it first. They were the first
to do
it.
Yeah, they also got caught by using it. I mean, look at the Silk Road, right? He got caught because of his Bitcoin address. So, I just feel like, a lot of people like to think that, there's even when I came into this space, I thought, oh, it's anonymous. Oh, Bitcoin's anonymous. It's not anonymous. You can be if someone knows your address, they could see all the transactions you're doing in your address, in your wallet.
So how can they use that to identify you as a person?
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of time. They just identify, all the moves you're taking first, and
right?
they just wait for you to slip up.
So what do they?
I mean,
you mean in terms of like, maybe I send Bitcoin to a centralized exchange or something like that?
Yeah, maybe you make one small mistake, and then we've got all your transactions recorded.
Oh, okay. Like I post my wallet address somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Jake, good morning. What's up, brother?
Yeah, they can see all the transactions you're doing by having your wallet address, but they can't see who is doing it from where. That's the point. If you have transaction address. If you have only my wallet address, you can't tell me who I am. You can't tell who is the person.
Yeah, you have a good point there, but all I'm saying is in this day and age where all of our data is out there, you're going to tell me that we can't put two data points together and start figuring out who people are. I mean, I know when we were talking about this whole Doge, and we'll get to Doge in a minute, that people were speculating on Elon Musk's wallet because who could move such high amounts of Doge at one time, right? There's only a few people in the world who had a wallet sizes this large. So, all I'm saying is I understand that the anonymity comes from the fact that we might not know your first and last name. But if you give me a few data points, and an internet, I could probably figure out who you are. I could probably figure out who you're. It's not that hard nowadays. Everyone gladly puts all their information out there.
Yeah, I wonder if they can, it's not like they can actually look in the packets that you're sending somewhere and see, like, oh, hey, he's got this wallet address. Like, I don't think they can decrypt your information, but that you're sending across the internet. But of course, like you said, maybe based on other things like location, like, hey, how is this? Where did they connect to this service from? Right. So that's why you got to always use a VPN for your own purposes. Always use a VPN. Always be connected to a VPN. Make sure it's with a company that can destroy their servers if they need to. Like I personally use Surfshark. So I use Surfshark, and they have their servers on some offshoot UK island. I forget what it's called, and they can just destroy their servers if they have to for whatever reason. So make sure you find a good VPN and one that will keep your records safe.
Yeah. Mike, we brought up something yesterday. We had a little squad talk yesterday in our Discord. And for those who don't know,
right.
Squad talk for us is we get in our Discord, we share our screens, and we do what we do here on the show, but it's more of an open discussion because anyone can chime in at any time. And it's good. I mean, we have a lot of really smart guys in our Discord who contribute so that we're all getting better. So if you're not in our Discord, there's a free invite. Just go ahead.
And we have people that just sit there and listen in too. Like we've had people just jump in and they just listen, right? And they're getting information and that, so they're hearing the whole discussion that's happening as it's unfolding.
And, one thing we talked about yesterday in our squad talk, which I thought, I wanted to bring up on the show today, was I was on the Glassnode and I was looking at the addresses of wallets that had different amounts of Bitcoin in it and what they were doing. So, for example, I was saying, let's compare the little guy, the retail investors, with the big guy, the whales. And let's see what they're doing with their money right now, what they're doing with their Bitcoin right now. And I saw an interesting trend, right? I saw that the amount of wallets increasing with 0.01 Bitcoin or lower is growing at a very high rate right now. It is growing exponentially. We can see it, and I'm pulling up my chart now. It's still growing today, even with the drop over the weekend. It didn't affect small money buying Bitcoin, but that wasn't the case with big money, with the whales. What we saw with whales, and that's people with 1,000 Bitcoin in their wallet or more, is that that's dropping off. And usually what I've noticed is that before a big dip, it's kind of like the whales move before the whales move before the small money moves. And we're seeing now whales are starting to remove their position in Bitcoin. It almost feels like they are expecting a larger dip coming. And
yes,
the small money hasn't really caught on yet. So
yeah, and look, the problem with this is for the small investors is that the big wallets are going to keep selling. But at what point are the retail investors going to stop buying? and start selling. That's when the real sharp drops happen, is when the retail investors are like, you know what? And everybody starts panic selling, right? That is going to happen. We saw that happen yesterday. And it's not necessarily like they're sitting and hitting the sell button. They might have stop losses set. They might have margin positions. I just read, you want me to read this tweet? This is devastating. Guys, this is why I never trade on margin or be over leveraged. I dropped in our Satire and Wisdom channel, and you can see this if you join our Discord. Just got word that a friend got liquidated. This is one of my favorite Twitter accounts, Crypto.alt. Lost it all, plus some of his friends' money on top. Trust me on this one. Number one, there's a big difference between trading and gambling. Number two, gambling addiction is real. Number three, if you're going down that route, stop yourself before it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we all, in a way, this is all a bit of gambling, but you can be smart. You can be smart, right? You can take smart positions. You can do your research. You can invest in smart projects. And we're going to get to Dogecoin in a minute on why Mike and I are skeptical of Dogecoin, but you can be smart.
Yeah, pull up Benjamin Cowan's chart. So we like to promote YouTube channels that we follow. One of those is Benjamin Cowan. If you join our Discord, you'll see that we automatically post every time Benjamin Cowan posts a new video. We post in our Discord, and he pulls up a chart of Dogecoin. If you guys need an invite to the Discord, you can click on one of our faces, go to our YouTube channel, and the Discord link is there. I haven't checked, Noah, if it appears on mobile or how that looks on mobile, but you should see a Discord link somewhere. You can always send us a DM on Instagram as well.
If you're watching on mobile, definitely let us know how it looks. Jake, what's up?
I don't really understand people who are money laundering by Bitcoin. Like, what's the point? Like, they know that Bitcoin isn't completely anonymous, so why wouldn't they use Monero? Why wouldn't they use Coin instead of Bitcoin? Like, Monero and Coin are almost completely anonymous. They're more secure, they're more decentralized than Bitcoin. So why they can't use these cryptocurrencies instead of Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's a perfect question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Satoshi's chiming in. If you don't know who Satoshi is, and this is your first time listening to our program, listen up. He's the real deal. Satoshi 2009.
I want to tell you about the Bitcoin drop, okay? I think, the smart money and partially evil money, if you want, they saw from the order books that they get easily. I think the exchanges are even in on it because they make a lot of money on these fees. They made so much money in this drop. I mean, I told you in the Discord, one exchange that puts 10% of their fees profit from only the BTC future market, just one specific market on OKEx, into the insurance fund. They put 274 Bitcoins into the insurance fund. Imagine how much they made, and that's just one product on a platform that is not even in the top 5. And so they give this information to the big guys, and the big guys then use that information to wash out the small guys. Now, second message, I explain how it links to what you guys talked about.
Mike, I think he's exactly right. And what I want to point out here is that, in 2021, retail investors have more tools at their disposal than ever before, right? I mean, we have software, we have bot trading software, right? We have great technical indicators. We have the tools that the hedge funds had before us now, and we're able to become smarter traders. But that doesn't mean that as we have educated ourselves, as we've become more resourceful, that the big money also hasn't become more resourceful too. And that's exactly what Satoshi said right there, which is, these order books, these exchange order books, we don't have access to them, but the big money does. And they're able to make moves based on data that we don't have access to. And that was the case 10 years ago. That was the case 20 years ago with, the stock market and the manipulation in the markets. And it's still the case today. that we don't have the same access to the same information as the big money does, and I guess that'll always be the case.
Well, I think look. We all have access to the on-chain data, right? Like you're pulling up Glassnode here in the Discord, and you guys can see that this is a paid service. We pay for this service for our community so that they can use it. So if you'd like to see some on-chain data, you can join the Discord. Now, there's a lot of power in on-chain data, right? We can see what's happening with all the transactions on Bitcoin. The one thing that I'll say, Noah, is that we can't really see what's happening on the exchanges. Yeah or nay? Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the piece that we're kind of missing here with the on-chain data. It is fantastic.
Is the order
we can see what big money is doing across the network, like withdrawing from exchanges, for example.
Yeah,
exactly. But if you're doing trades on an exchange, we can't see what's happening there.
Yeah,
within a single wallet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's finish Satoshi's next message, but I just wanted to point that out that they still have an advantage because they have access to better information. The retail investor is getting smarter, getting more information, but we're still at a disadvantage when it comes to big money.
You mentioned these reasons why something like this could start. Yeah, this big smart money, they're not stupid. They're not going to do it when everybody is like against a million of happy bulls. They wait for a moment like the electricity outage or something, and I think that's the one they waited for. I mean, at the moment they saw the price go below 60, and it also, and it happened in the weekend, and it happened for a lot of people in the middle of the night, time zone wise. So it was the perfect attack. And look, if only the margin calls ending and so on would have been, the price wouldn't have immediately jumped back to 55 or 56 from 51. It would have stayed around 52, 53. It jumped back because smart money made the money, sold coins, pushed the market down, and then used the profits they made to buy they bought their coins back that they sold initially, and they bought additional coins with the profit. That's it. That's the play that went.
And I just
beautiful.
Want to throw this out there, Mike. That power outage, I read somewhere that power outage wasn't spontaneous. That was a planned test run of these networks of the power networks in China. That was a
okay
a drill. Like that was a drill.
Oh, okay. To see what happens if they shut the power down or something.
Yeah, so
maybe in a specific district, yeah.
Right, so it could have easily been planned. This could have easily been planned by big money to take advantage of, weak hands in the market.
Yeah, but I mean, they could be just waiting for the right news to pop up on their radar, kind of like Satoshi alluded to, and then just try to correlate it. But it's so interesting how, there's these big firms that are sort of driving this narrative, right? And it's just sometimes there's, like we've talked about it before, there's more people selling than buying or buying than selling. And you should really consider it to be that simple. Like, don't overcomplicate it. And that can change at any given moment based on technicals, based on some information that comes out. But, the price movements are the most important thing because that's what people actually do, not what people say.
Absolutely.
Guys, that's RobinHood's business model. They give free trading because it's not to give this information away. They get paid for this. They must get paid. This is so valuable. Valuable.
Yeah, and just
so people this is like the new age information companies.
Just so our listeners understand exactly what Satoshi just said. When we go on Google, right, and we can search for free, we're not really searching for free. You're actually paying, right, through those ads. And when you go on RobinHood and you get a trade for free, you're not really trading for free. You're selling your data. Same thing, so that data is so important, especially as Satoshi just said, to big money. And you're freely giving it up because you're saving 35 cents per trade. So it's kind of like the market is hurting themselves, right? The small money is kind of like, hurting themselves. Yeah, it's unreal, Mike. But he's absolutely right, right? Our data is being sold.
Yes.
You're trading on Robinhood, right? Your data is being sold to big money, and then they're using that to take advantage of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the next thing that we're going to, I mean, certainly Coinbase, I mean, all these exchanges have that information of, you know, the trades that people are making to show, you know, potentially market sentiment. Also, you could look at Voyager as well. Like they're offering like no transaction fees on their trades. They're pretty much going to become the Robinhood. I'm curious to see, you know, where that money comes from. But are they giving the order book to somebody else, just like Robinhood is?
And I saw Etoro. I just randomly saw Etoro was offering like, if you onboard 5,000 on their exchange, they'll give you an extra $250. So I mean, look, these are all great incentives, but just understand that there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right. No, that's absolutely true.
Right? You are giving something up when you get a free product. Just realize that.
My question is, where's the ethics in all this, man? You've got little people like us that are looking at Bitcoin and these other smaller areas to invest. And as we just kind of contemplate and we assume in the back of our minds that there's something too good to be true about all this. And then we see this shit unfold like this, and gentlemen like you dissect it. You dissect the problem and show us exactly who's gaining, who's losing, how they go about it, opportunities they take to jump in and do this shit on the regular. Even when there's a plane hitting towers, they take advantage of it. Pandemic, they take advantage of it. Power outage, they take advantage of it. My question to you guys is, you know, hey, why should the little people still keep trying to invest in something that we know it is bigger than we are? It takes advantage of us when we're just trying to get in and get a little profit.
Those are all the good questions. These are questions that people should be asking themselves. And, you know, I mean, the first thing that I always point to, and I take this from Richard Hart, is, you know, look at the chart of Bitcoin. If you shorted Bitcoin from 20,000 to 60,000, you would have lost your stack about 10 times, 20 times. I don't know how many times. You would have lost it a lot of times. So, and this chart just goes up and to the right. So, you know, the people that are buying and holding long-term, Noah and I have talked about this. Binance has released data on this. The people that buy and hold get 220% average per year return. And the people that, you know, they miss the best 10 days, they only get 70% return. So if you can't follow this stuff, you know, if you're just kind of starting out, just buy and hold stuff that you believe in, stuff that you've used, stuff that you've researched. You know, that's the most important thing, honestly, is to do your research and say, yes, this looks good. This is why this has advantage over all similar tokens. And we're going to start providing that research. We actually, Noah and I just put up a Patreon so that you guys can go and subscribe. You can get, we're going to start selling one sheets for 99 cents, which we think is, I mean, I told Noah that's kind of a ridiculous price, but he said, look, people can get in and they can get the information. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but you can manipulate the game. But if you know the order book on leverage products, and then you push the price there, and you create margin calls, and then you create the selling. You don't, you know, you can create, oh, I need sellers. Okay, let me push the price there. I get enough selling. You know, and then it's escalating down, and then additional panic comes in maybe with some people, and then, you know, you see, oh, now we margin called them enough. Now is the moment to buy back. And it's incredible what they can do. They scoop up more Bitcoins this way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's complete manipulation of the little guy. And it's been happening forever, right? This is
and they don't want to crush the market too much, because both you and I know if they crush the market too much, then the little guys are going to start selling instead of buying.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Look, this is nothing new, right? And they're really going for those margin calls. They're really, and one after another, people, you know, they get called and their money gets liquidated. And that's one reason why I don't trade on margin. I don't recommend people to trade on margin. because you can get stuck in a bad situation at no fault of your own. I mean, it is a fault of your own for putting yourself in that position, but it's at its best, it's market manipulation by the whales.
I agree with Alfaki. It's not about cryptocurrency. Yeah, Google is a free search engine, but you pay through ads that the Google gives
Right.
you. So,
Right.
and Google also tracks your search history. They save your search history, and they can see in which location you are, who you are, and they have all the information that you give them. So that's why I don't understand why people still use it. Why people wouldn't use DuckDuckGo instead, Brave browser instead, who
Yep.
doesn't track their information. People also still use WhatsApp instead of Telegram, instead of
Yep.
Signal Messenger. Why people are not worried about their privacy nowadays. Their WhatsApp is still popular, just like Google is still popular, and people know that these companies tracks their information. They can see their
Yo, Jake,
He's right, man. He's so right.
I completely agree with you, Jake. And the reason why I think, and I hate to say it because I know all of us in this chat are, except for maybe Satoshi, are the little guy, is because we're dumb. It's because we haven't woken up yet, right? We still gladly give out our data, give out who we are, our information, everything about us, so that we can get a free product. Because in our
I mean,
minds,
look, it's because there's not a better alternative, and Noah and I have talked about this several times, that there's going to be better models that will actually pay you for your data and perhaps offer privacy options.
Yeah, and look,
in this blockchain space.
Jake, you mentioned two browsers that I'm a huge fan of, and actually, they're looking. I don't know if they've done it yet, but I think there's going to be a future partnership between Brave browser and DuckDuckGo, and I think those are the
DuckDuckDAO, or is that
DuckDuckGo?
No? Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I've seen that.
That's the future of web browsing, right? Because as we can see, and we actually have this one sheet coming out of it. We've covered Brave browser before. Is that ad blocking and tracking, data tracking? Is those blocking softwares are becoming more and more popular, especially amongst younger people. They're waking up and saying, "Don't track my data anymore." And so Web 3.0, things like peer-to-peer content delivery networks, which is what Brave browser is in as well. Those things are growing, and they're going to amass more population in the next 5 to 10 years. I truly believe that because you're right. And we've covered this before. I don't mean to go too far into it, but when we buy our data from AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, whatever data company you're buying from, 50% of your data purchase of the amount like if you're paying $100 for data that month, $50 is going to big tech. 50% of that is going to big tech to download their ads and tracking software on your phone and computer. So you may not feel it, right? And I remember I was in an accounting firm. I ran a sports practice in an accounting firm, and one of my clients, I had a competitor who wanted one of my clients. He was a big NFL player, and he took me to the competitor's office, and the guy said to me, "Noah, he's not going to charge me any money to do my work. So let me ask you, can you be free for me?" And I looked at him. I said, "No, I'm not going to do your work for free, right? But understand that it's not really free, right? He is going to somehow leverage the fact that you're his client in some way that you may not be okay with. This is the same thing that's going on here in the market. You might get free trades on Robinhood, but they're leveraging your data so that other people can manipulate you."
Right.
I answer it like this: buy Bitcoin, don't play with leverage, and just don't do anything, and see these dips as noise or even opportunities to buy in cheap at a discount. Play the game like them. And if it's ethics, sorry to tell you, I've been to many abysses in my life. Where there's money, there is no ethics. It is what it is.
That's real.
That's
right
brutal.
there. That's brutal. Real talk. I hope you guys are listening to Satoshi 2009 because he's the real deal. I mean, he's
that hit really hard. I felt that.
Yeah.
Felt that.
He's feeding you your medicine this morning, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but something here, the little guy, a margin call. A little guy shouldn't play with something as margin calls. I'm very sorry to say this, but the moment you play with a margin call, you play like a big guy and you're a little guy. Of course, mistakes and accidents will happen and pain comes in.
A lot of pain.
Yeah, just look, and the reality is like you might get lucky a couple times and think you're okay. And we talked about this with Doge. You might get lucky and, you might buy Doge at the right time and sell Doge at the right time. But if you keep repeating those pumps, and you're trying to beat the big guys, the guys with a lot of supply and token, right? You trying to buy and sell fast them. And, I bet you will if you're an experienced trader. But look, if you're a long-term investor, you got to look out for these big pumps. And that should be when you should be the most scared when something pumps massively, like Dogecoin has, for example.
Yeah, and I want to get into Dogecoin because I actually have some interesting news on Dogecoin. But let me get to Loretti first because he had some good comments earlier. Loretti, what's up?
Oh, this medicine, it tastes so bad. Oh. It's nasty.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. It does taste bad, but it's
yeah. I mean, look, it just flips it on its head where you want to think that these guys are looking out for you and they're trying to provide the best experience and this is great for everybody. And some people are just not like exactly like Satoshi said, they're trying to play like the big boys and they're taking on risk that they themselves cannot manage properly. They don't know how to manage their risk and say, okay, at this level, I need to take a stop loss. If I'm in a margin position, okay, at this level, I need to take a stop loss because I don't want to get liquidated down at the bottom. I'd rather get liquidated towards the top, right? So, I mean, look, we say just don't trade on margin and get crushed. Don't short. You're going to get crushed in the long term. You don't want to get lucky, okay? Because getting lucky means that you might get crushed.
Right. You're only going to get lucky once, and you're going to get unlucky the majority of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Because look, and people that get lucky, they think sometimes they take the gambling approach where they go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So that's what we want to avoid. We want to do it based on you've been following these indicators and doing the swing trades that way, and that's been working really well for you. It's not a luck thing. It's a read the market and see if the timing is right. Right, there is a sort of timing aspect, even in making swing trades, like the ones that Noah's doing. Like he got beat on a couple of those, but you took a stop loss on a couple of those, right?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't happy about it, but it happens, and I'd rather have that stop loss there than not, and be holding on to red bags for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean it could drop from like -10 to like -20, 25. I got a small position that's like down 25%.
But Mike, my thing is this, like we dropped 15-20% on Friday night going into Saturday, and people were, losing their shit. What's going to happen when we drop 40 to 50%?
Well, I think there's going to be a couple things, everybody's going to do something different because everybody's responsible for their own financial decisions. But I do believe at a point there is going to be denial. We talked about having this denial phase when we go back and touch like 20,000. People are going to be like, well, I'm not going to sell now because it's already so low. We just try to talk about on the show, like, what are the indications that a drop to the moving average that's sitting at 45,000. I forget what period that is. But, we go and touch that moving average at 45K. Where can we indicate that's going to happen, And when the big flash crash was happening, down to 51K, I was saying, look, wait for a bounce, right? Just on sharp moves down, you get sharp moves down, you get sharp bounces as well. Now that's not guaranteed, nothing's guaranteed, but if you're already at 51,000, don't you want to wait for a bounce? At that point, we've already dropped 20%.
Yeah.
That was scary though. The whole market going red it didn't scare. It was the first time that like something like that happened. I was just kind of like trying to understand what I should do. I didn't really care about what was happening or what was going to happen, because look, you don't have control over that, but you can, sort of collect yourself and say, look, I'm going to wait for a bounce and then I'm going to sell. Like, you don't want to sit, like, you don't want to assume that something's just going to keep dropping like a knife. It doesn't, just like things don't go up forever, things don't go down forever either.
And look, when Satoshi wrote the white paper, he never wrote about margin calls, and he would have probably advised against it. And honestly speaking, also the other thing that is very dangerous, keeping your coins on centralized exchanges in their wallets that can be hacked. Take your coins into your private wallet. So that's number 2. And number 3, the whole stacking that is going on. I mean, I'm not expert on stacking, but to me it almost sounds stacking project often say, hey, put your coins into my custody and I pay you interest. Now, you would go to a bank if they offer you interest, but you would not probably go to some basement 20-year-old's kid somewhere in a neighborhood of your city and they say, give me your money, I give you interest. You wouldn't do it. But then somehow, because the blockchain seems safe and because the Bitcoin was never hacked as a protocol, oh, it's a safe space. Oh, I can stack. No, also, don't stack your coins if you're not the custodian of it. It goes against any logic. You will get hurt.
So if you just heard what Satoshi said, I just want to go over those 3 things he just said, because there are, it's Bitcoin right
They're
now.
valid points. They're extremely valid points, and people need to understand these risks when they're doing staking and liquidity mining and so forth.
So first he said, don't trade on margin, right? The Bitcoin white paper never said, hey, you should leverage OPM, other people's money, and trade on margin. No, don't trade on margin. So if you're trading right now and you're thinking, hey, I can make more money if I just use margin, just stop yourself. Just don't trade on margin. You're a little guy. You're going to get burned. Don't trade on margin. Right?
Don't go to sleep with a margin position. Jesus Christ. That'd be a shit to wake up to.
That's point number 1, right? Don't increase your risk unnecessarily, right? Don't trade on margin.
Don't lose more. Don't lose more than you have. Like, don't put yourself in a position to lose more than you have. And the 2 ways that you can do that is margin and shorting and over leveraging, like futures and stuff like that.
All right. Number 2, he said, move your money from an exchange. If you're holding Bitcoin, move that money from an exchange and open up a private wallet. That could be on cold storage. Move it to a private wallet. And he's saying that because you are inviting unnecessary risk by keeping it on an exchange that may be hacked. It's more unlikely that your personal wallet is going to be hacked because the hackers know that the big money is on the exchange. So if they're going to use the resources to hack something, they're going to hack where they know the money's at. They're not going to hack your little wallet that has, $100 in it or $1,000 in it, or even $5,000 in it. They're going after the wallets that have 10 million, 20 million, and so on, more. So move your money onto cold storage, move it into a private wallet, get it off an exchange if you're not trading it. That's rule number 2. If you're listening, these are important steps for you to be aware of here. And the third one he said is about staking, about DeFi, decentralized finance, which is something that Mike and I do a lot. And if you watch our YouTube, Mike does platform reviews on different places where you can engage in yield farming, engage in staking. And basically what Satoshi is told us right now is he's saying that you would never go into, if you're going to place your money in a bank to get an interest, like you're buying a CD or any other financial product that will yield some interest in return for you, you're not going to go to your neighbor and your neighbor's going to say, hey, give me $500 and I'll pay you back 10% over the year. You wouldn't necessarily trust your neighbor with your $500. Why are you going and trusting random websites that you've never even seen or heard of before with your cryptocurrency? You're doing it because it's trendy right now. And you want to move, you don't want to follow necessarily what's trendy. You want to follow what's safe. So, I don't want to say that staking in general is bad, right? Because DeFi and layer 2 financing is definitely a huge growth area in this space, but you have to do it with a little bit of intelligence. You have to do your research. You have to know which platforms you are staking on so that you're not inviting unnecessary risk in doing yield farming, because there have been rug pulls. And a rug pull is when the developers just take all the money on the platform. They say, thanks for your money. Have a nice day. Oh, you expected interest? You expected to get your money back? No, not today, buddy.
What's happening, fellas? How'd you feel about that dip, that little correction we had? I used it to buy some more cryptos, man. I used it to buy specifically XRP, buddy.
Oh, man, get out of here. Get out of here.
All right.
Jake, what's up?
I don't really understand how the cold storage works, so I would be very appreciated if you could explain to me. Like, so I think the cold storage works like this. So you store your cryptocurrencies in that flash drive, but once you lose it or once you break it, you will lose everything you had on that storage. So that might be dangerous, but I'm not sure if it works like that.
Mike? Oh, God, you're playing creepy.
Yeah, so every time you come in here, mention XRP. It's a deal. It's 1-to-1. We will play the XR Creeper song every time you come in here and creep on us, because every single crypto went up, including XRP. And XRP is not in any way special. There's nothing interesting about XRP. It's just another creeper. Look, XR creeped its way into cryptocurrency, okay? It doesn't really belong there. So I think it's only right that we have a song that matches that same vibe. Okay? So here we go. Here comes the chorus. This is for Burger Dog, aka Macho Man Trans. You are always creeping every single time. Jeez. You better stay woke, man.
Mike, don't screw with us copyright issues on YouTube.
You know what? We might have to cut this from the video.
We might have to cut this from the video, absolutely.
But you are always creeping.
Mike, let's talk about cold storage.
Okay, let's talk about cold storage.
Talk to us about cold storage. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
So what I like about cold storage is that I can actually still connect to my MetaMask and all that stuff. I have my cold wallet, and I never have anything sitting in a wallet like MetaMask. Right. It's so if I have my funds sitting in MetaMask, someone could get my seed phrase or my private key and then go in and take my funds. If I have something in a cold wallet in my physical hand, it cannot get hacked. While I'm sleeping, if that thing's in my pocket, nobody's taking my funds. That's why you need a cold wallet. And that's why after we do the show, I'm going to buy a cold wallet. I'm buying a Trezor. And
You're buying a Trezor.
Because that's the one that I've seen that links with Exodus wallet. So, yeah.
And I think, Mike,
I'm going to get that one.
We've been talking about this for a while, that you were going to do some reviews on some wallets so our listeners can, have a good base understanding of what to use and why, what the advantages and disadvantages of different ones are, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's going to be definitely worth our listeners' time if you were to do some reviews on the different wallets that we have going on. Mr. Posse, what's up?
Morning, guys. Greetings from the West Coast. It's your boy, Mr. R. I love tuning into the show. Happy Monday. Yes, the market is very strange right now for crypto, but I'm waiting. I did buy the dip. So thank you for that info, but everyone did see it, like myself. But just side note, just to let you guys know, since I've been tuning in, and I'm gonna go into past shows, but I'm gauging. I'm doing a little graph sheet of when XRP drops into the show. There was one day where XRP didn't come in, so I didn't want to jinx it. But yes, 48 minutes into the show, marking it on my graph right now, and I think each month I'm gonna just share the file with you later.
Yes,
that's awesome.
That's how we need to do it. And You know what? We'll try to avoid the copyright issues on YouTube. Let's put it up now and see if we get. Well, you know what? Let's see, because we had the other show and that didn't get the copyright issue. So let's see what happens. And you know what? We might have to have Mike Larry Draw make us a creeper song.
Yeah.
Okay, like, or like if we can get an alternative version, something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
So there are about 4 messages still coming in from Elvis, who is all about XRP. I haven't played them just because.
Oh my God!
I want to keep.
Old Elvis is still on the centralized bank system. He's still trying to feed the banks. Okay, XRP. Let me just say this real quick. XRP is dog food for the banks. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Thank you. If our listeners want to hear more about XRP, you can clap it up. If not, stay quiet. So
you always creeping. Always creeping.
Yeah. Mr. Posse, man, thank you for that. I'm looking forward to that chart because that's really interesting. We don't always get creepers on our show talking about XRP every show, but they do pop in once in a while, and that's just the way.
You know what, you gotta call them out, because check this out. This is our show, so if you want to bring up XRP, we're going to have something to say about it. And you might not like it. You might not like us calling you a creeper.
On the creeping song.
Mike Larry Joss is going to work on the creep song. All right. So
hell yes. XR creepers.
And that's a Grammy-nominated gentleman right there who's putting up some music for Talk.Crypto. So, clap it up for Mike Larry Draw.
Shouts out to him. Give him a follow. Go check out his Instagram. He started doing Instagram lives. So, maybe we'll have a couple of crypto discussions on there. Yeah, definitely go give that man a follow, especially if you like music. Robert Glasper. I saw Robert Glasper was following him. I'm like, okay, there's something here. Let's check this out.
Before we get on to DogeCoin, I want to take this last call from Loretti and from Jake. Loretti, what's up?
Hey, can we make it a competition? Can I send y'all a creeper song too? I would love to get creeper,
dude. Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yo, let's make something out of this. We should have an open competition for all our listeners to submit a song for XR Creepers, and I want some. I'm open to anything, but that's like that R&B vibe that with like Childish Gambino, Redbone song. I will put on our Discord the song that I've been using, and then you guys can come up with whatever. We're open. I think we're open to anything.
Let's keep it moving, Mike.
So if you don't want to talk about XRP and that person is trying to talk about it, just block him. What's the deal? Just block him and he will never access to your podcast ever again.
Yo, listen, but no, we like this guy. I mean, there are certain
we do.
There are certain people who come on the show that we have blocked in the past because we feel like it just takes away from the show and the conversation. And if you come on here and spam us, that's an easy way to get blocked. But
because there's people that actually try to listen and people that we play back on the show, like Satoshi, for example, Mr. Mike Larry Draw, we play back on the show, and we want to have it be an open conversation. We know that they're always going to add some value for our listeners, so we always want to play back their opinion, and we will prioritize the people that are offering up good stuff.
But with this guy, I mean, look, we like Elvis, Burger Dog, whatever his name is. He's got like 5 accounts here.
Whatever you want to say. Like he adds that flavor, he adds that spice to the show. You know what I mean?
Mike and him went after it on one show, which was a lot of fun for me to be the referee in between the two of them. So, I mean, I'm good. It's just today I don't want to deal with XRP because we have a short show. We're not going on for 2 hours. And we've already gone on for 1 right now. We're going to close it in the next 15 minutes. And I really want to get to Dogecoin and some news on, the whole Talk.Crypto team and what we're doing in the future. So let's keep it moving. I'm going to take this call from Mike Larry Draw, and let's keep it going.
But if you block him, we won't be able to play the Creeper song just when he
comes. Yes!
We need him.
That's the point.
So we can play the Creeper song, whatever version you guys pick.
Yes,
just bring so much joy to our day.
Yes.
Well, hey, we're all trying to make some money, right? And there's only, there's more than one way to do it. We all have our own opinion, right? We're all good.
That's
We're gonna be the 1%.
that's exactly right. But look, we would rather not have the centralized banks be profiting off of whatever we're buying, and it's kind of hard to do cross-border payments with a volatile currency.
Mike, another reason why we can't block Elvis, and Elvis, we're not going to block you, but the number one reason why we can't block you.
No. Let me say this.
Mike, wait. The number one reason why we can't block Elvis is this.
Yeah, and it's gonna fuck up my graph. And I've been fucking putting some work on that graph.
Yes. Okay, so that's the number one reason. The number two reason is it's just like a lot of our other listeners that actually they like criticize the stuff that we're saying, and that's really important for the listeners because yes, we are going to have our podcast, but then also we want people to hear the other side too. So it's only fair that we let everybody have a chance to speak.
Right. Mike, one thing I want, bring your attention to as we move over to Dogecoin is this altcoin season index, which I have up on my screen at the moment. And I like to look at this periodically to see where we are with the altcoins. And what I mean by that is how are they performing compared to Bitcoin? So the altcoin season index tells us how 75% of the top 50 coins, when they perform better than Bitcoin over the last season, which is 90 days, we're in altcoin season. And we have been in altcoin season since March 25th. And usually, right now we're at the top and we're getting overheated with altcoins and we're seeing a dip now. And so, my question, Mike, to you is, if we look back at the history of this chart, we can see some major dips when we get into the point we're at right now. But I feel like this is so much different than we were back a year ago or even 3 years ago with all of the different projects coming up. People are becoming more aware of these projects. Retail investors are putting money into blockchain projects. So, how much do you put into this altcoin season index, that we are currently outperforming Bitcoin? Do you think that we should? Do you think this index still has some relevance?
I think it's really hard to say, to be honest, but it just shows where we're at in regards to other cycles. And for example, Dogecoin has just exponentially has just gone way beyond the point that it normally has, right? Remember the chart that Benjamin Callen pulled up. So I'm not going to put a cap and say because other cycles we've only gone to this level relatively. Look, we don't know, but we are in the overheated phase. That's for sure. We don't know where the top's going to be, but we just need to be cautious right now, entering positions that we don't want to hold. This is the key. If you're getting on ICOs and stuff like that, that you actually believe in, that you've done research on, you believe in, maybe that's different. But look, if you're buying altcoins that have already 10x'd, that's where you got to be careful. That's my opinion. Be careful in things that have already been overheated, not things that haven't taken off yet. But also those things.
That brings us into Dogecoin, right? Because Dogecoin hasn't 10x. Dogecoin has it's number 8 now as far as the largest cryptocurrency out there. And it has just grown from out of nowhere to being this massive mass appealed virtual currency. And
right.
And actually, 420 is a famous day for smokers, and the Doge community is trying to rebrand that day Doge Day. And
I don't understand, but wouldn't there have to be a significant event in the Doge community for them to be able to do that?
Well, that's what they're gunning for, Mike. They're saying they want to get Dogecoin to $1 by 420. And
this is the same thing. Look, this is this tribal thinking, the same thing of all those people with the laser eyes on Twitter. It's ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous. And you're leading people to like have false ideas about what the price could or should be. And it's just pure throwing a number out there. Let me just throw a horseshoe and see if it lands.
If you've made money in Dogecoin, send us a note. I want to hear about it. Personally, I made money in Dogecoin. I know Mike doesn't touch that coin, but
you know what? It's not that I wouldn't touch it, right? Because look, the trades that we make, we're in them to make a flip, right? Like I said, like long-term positions, trades, different approaches, right? Trades is all based on technicals. It helps if there's news behind it because you can say, okay, well, maybe more people will learn and more volume will come in. But this is, I mean, what this means for the space, I don't know. I mean,
and that's what
illegitimate projects making their way to the top.
That's exactly what I want to ask you about, right? And our listeners too, if you guys have any opinions on this, is that Dogecoin has grown to taking a top 10 spot of virtual currencies. Is that good for this ecosystem? Is a meme coin that has truly real no value, no utility,
and a lot of risk,
and extremely high risk for small traders, right? Because we've
give the two big. What's the two big bullet points on Dogecoin that people need to know in regards to who owns the supply and who owns the mining power?
Right. I mean, tell us to us, but.
Okay, so about 28% is owned by a single wallet. People speculate, keyword, speculate, that is RobinHood. There's been speculations that it's Elon. I don't think, none of that has been confirmed. Maybe RobinHood's using it to do trades on their platform. I don't know. I don't think that information is going to be revealed. The other thing is, I think, Noah, you were mentioning yesterday, 80% of the mining power for Dogecoin is controlled by one group. This is, let me tell you, the two coins that are not democratizing, that are not decentralizing, Dogecoin and XRP are not democratizing.
Doge folded compared to 2 months ago. It's insane what is going on. Doge has no max supply, almost no mining power, and the developer that developed it and could easily change it is still alive there and can be manipulated, corrupted, or threatened. And honestly, the fact that Mark Cuban and Elon Musk push people to Doge, it's incredible to me. Especially Elon Musk. He should understand the technology. I'm not sure with Mark Cuban sometimes. But if you know how he made his money with the Yahoo deal, I mean, you can't trust this guy. And with Elon Musk, why would he push people to Doge? Why? So they're after invested in, even if it becomes number one coin, let's say Doge overtakes Bitcoin, flips it. So people actually are in a coin that can be manipulated and controlled the same way central banks are. What is this?
Wait.
Really? I mean, I in general don't trust people with power and money, but Mark, with Elon Musk, who knew? I wasn't 100% sure. Now I know. He's part of them.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous, the approach that Elon Musk has taken to this. At least he could be satirical about it, but it's kind of one of those things. The more real he makes it seem, the more that people buy into it. And it's a meme joke, right? It's like a meme joke, but it's like the new way to get in people's sort of minds is to be associated with a meme.
Well, Mike, what I'm afraid of is what we've discussed in the beginning of this call today, which is market manipulation. And it is the highest potential for market manipulation is in coins like XRP and Dogecoin, right? Because it's more centralized than other coins.
Right. The supply of the token.
Right. So, and I'm afraid, and we hear on this program all the time, people come in and they say things like, well, Dogecoin is for the small guy because I can afford it. Bitcoin is $60,000. I can't afford it. And I know that we both know that's wrong way to think, right? You can buy fractional shares, but that is how the uninformed investor thinks.
Right. And also I want to, about in regards to XRP, I want to add that, they there's going to be tokens and stuff like that mess up. And then another project's going to come in and they're going to have a better approach to it. For example, XRP. I've talked about Exodus Vault before, and they came in and they said, look, we're not going to mint a token that has no utility. Instead, we're going to file with the SEC and we're going to sell shares on the blockchain. And that's exactly what they did. And they're raising a modest $75 million.
I just realized what it is with Elon Musk. He doesn't do this to enrich himself, but he can't stand that there is a smarter one in the room, and that's Satoshi. That's it. It's ego.
You know what? That's a reasonable point. I mean, I don't really know. I doubt that he processes it. Like, look, these guys, they're so focused on what they're doing. Like, if you understand the mindset of Joe Rogan, of Elon Musk, they're so focused on what they're doing. Like, winners focus on winning. I believe that. Look, and I'm not like a fan of everything that Elon does. But look, he's a winner. I categorize him as a winner in the sense of producing a product that got to market, people demand it, right? So in that sense, I look at him as a winner, and I believe that he focuses on winning. I don't know that I'm sure he understands the white paper, and he, look, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Elon, but I'm sure he's read the white paper. He wants to do private transactions of Bitcoin. I think it's just a joke. I think it's just he's just trying to push it. Like Satoshi, think about what he did with the SEC before, and making tweets about Tesla, and the SEC went after him for tweets that he posted about Tesla. I think about the private sale, right? No, you got some background noise, but Elon has been gone after by the SEC before. And now he's just pushing that. So, like, if anything, look, I just think it's a, wink at the SEC. I don't think that has to do with Satoshi in any way.
Now,
that's just my take.
That's not to say
speculation.
That's not to say that people haven't made money off of Dogecoin, right? Like, I'm sure. Let's see what Mike says, Mike Larry says, because people have made money off of the price action of Dogecoin, and we don't want to necessarily belittle that. We're just letting you know the risk involved with a virtual currency that is not really as decentralized as or secure as, say, a Bitcoin. Whoops.
But wasn't Doge, the coin, supposed to be a trolling coin? They made it just to be funny. Like, I can't believe this is even being taken serious at this moment. Not saying you guys are taking it serious. I'm just saying in the gist of what it was really made for.
No, I think we need to push back against this. I think we need to push back and say, look, the technology's not there, the development team's not there, the mining, the sort of spread of the supply. This is not a coin of the people. This is a coin of a few. And that's what we need to push back and provide an alternative perspective to people, because otherwise they'll continue to buy into, like, is this real? Like, look, I'm going to be completely honest, Noah, because people have been talking about all these things to support Dogecoin. I've been sort of like buying into the idea of like, oh, well, maybe it could be supported and blah, blah, blah. But look, it doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of issues with it. It's going to be nearly impossible. The fact that you can keep minting coins, all that stuff. Yeah, we talked about it.
Look, the new price target for Doge is 60 cents. It's currently trading at about 37.
For you.
I mean, it's unreal.
He has an IQ of 200. Don't cut him slack here, please. He's much smarter than all of us in here. Okay? So he sees this through. And he has a famous saying that at the end, irony becomes the truth. And he has that saying. And no matter if he also understands that with his tweets, he influences people. And the people that buy now, the same way this was an 80-fold up, this could be an 80-fold down. Imagine how much people lose. So no, this is not cool. This is not nice. And doubting that he understands what he's doing is really, that doesn't make any sense. The guy shoots rockets to space that return back. I mean, and he doesn't get this. Forget about it. It's ego. It's ego.
Mike, what he just said there is my number one concern, right? You have a top 10 currency dropping 80% in value, what does that do for regulators in this industry? What does that do for the rest of the cryptocurrency industry?
Right. And if you guys are following Charles Hoskinson, he's the creator of Cardano. If you're not following his YouTube channel, like definitely go follow it. He came and talked about the Dogecoin pump and said, guys, look, I know you've made money on this, sell it. Like, this is not good for the space. If people lose their money, like, there's going to be regulators that come in. He's been in this space since the beginning, since Bitcoin. And he's telling you, because he's seen everything unfold since the start of cryptocurrency in 2009, he's telling you that if people lose their ass in Dogecoin, that there's going to be regulators that come in and it will give them a sort of means to do so.
I put this out on our Discord, and I don't know. I got some pushback on it, but I'm going to put it back out here too and see what you guys think. Will a drop in Dogecoin back to 10 cents, back to 7 cents, right? Bring in the bear market for cryptocurrency? Will that cause the future?
Maybe not directly, but indirectly, right? Like we talked about regulators, and then we talked previously about, like, there was news that the Treasury. There was a rumor, keyword rumor, that the Treasury Department was going after, cryptocurrency investors for money laundering, like big companies. You had reported that they were small, but if rumor or news like that gets out, that there's regulators that are coming in, especially if it's in the US, watch out.
Yeah, and Mike, what I'm talking about really when I talk about the future bear market is it's all based on market sentiment. Because what was my point was that if people are losing their houses on Dogecoin, and they're not going to go back in and say, let me go buy some Bitcoin, or let me go buy some BNB, let me go into a smart investment now. They're going to be so sour on the fact that they lost all this money on Dogecoin. They thought it was going to the moon, but they couldn't get off the ground. And now they're going to say, well, it already went to the moon. People are going to say that, this whole cryptocurrency space, this whole blockchain is a joke. Where we're seeing more people come into this space now. My concern is that a manipulation with Dogecoin, because Doge is so widely popular right now, is going to affect market speculation as a whole. And that could be a big problem, and we could see a big bear market, and it could be, we could all be in a field of hurt for quite a while, and that's well.
This is us. Yeah, no, I appreciate you providing that for listeners. This is the issue that we had in 2017, where we had, at the top of the market was marked by NFTs, crypto kitties, and everybody was like. Like, you're buying and selling these crypto kitties, these little digital assets. Of course, we know that space has developed more. But look, if we don't learn from the lessons of 2017 and what led to that bear market, you can expect sort of the same, thing. People buying these really, really speculative assets. Look at the top of any market, right? Like the 2008 financial crash. They were buying really speculative assets, right? And that led to the crash because people started losing money, and what happens when people lose money? They cash out their other positions. This is just what happens. And you could go and look at any institution, any market. When they start getting a bunch of losses, they have to start closing other positions. So that will have a ripple effect. And we would prefer that doesn't happen. We prefer nice, more smooth flowing, and yeah.
So and before I get to Satoshi's comment, I just want to say this: if you're invested in Dogecoin, if you've taken a larger position in Dogecoin, then set your stop losses, take some profits. Don't let the house of cards fall on you. Now, I don't know if it's going to fall or when it's going to fall, but I'm just saying, protect your backside.
I think what it will do is it will cause a major sell-off among all cryptos. It will. That's my opinion. But
it's fair.
While the projects that are anyways unsustainable will drop further and maybe join, Doge in the low levels, the good projects will then bounce back I don't know how long it will take to bounce back to the levels we are at right now. That's impossible for me to tell. But good projects like Bitcoin and a few others, they will then bounce back. And I think it could create an amazing buying opportunity. And I honestly, for me, I hope the dip is big in that regard. I hope. With my hope, I don't influence anything. I hope Bitcoin to go to 1 million, okay, tomorrow. Fine. Everybody to buy it. But if it goes down, I buy more. And I don't deal with leverage. And anybody that doesn't deal with leverage, they won't lose anything in the dip, just on paper. And they also have an opportunity to buy more.
So, Mike
nailed it.
He said something he said something in between his words that I think was really important. And it's a question I'm going to pose to all of our listeners is how much money do you have right now sitting in cash on the side, just waiting? Do you have? Is all your money currently leveraged in cryptocurrencies? If they are, you're doing it wrong. Because the dip is going to come soon. We don't know when, but it always happens.
I mean, look, I pointed this out many times. We have only green candles on the monthly chart. We have 6 green candles.
Yeah. Hold on, Mike. Let me get my point out. Is that are you prepared? Are you prepared to take advantage of that dip? Are you prepared to see that dip as an opportunity for you to buy up, like Satoshi was just saying? Or are you currently over leveraged? Have you put all your money in the basket and you're hoping that this market is going to keep going forever? Because if you are, that's wrong thinking. You're going to get hurt by that way. So my question to you guys out there is, how much money do you have right now in your accounts on the sideline? What do you have in reserves? You should have 30% of your portfolio in reserves waiting to take advantage of that dip. And when you do that, you may think right now, when that money's sitting off to the side, you may be thinking, well, shit, this money could be used. I could be making money with this money. Well, you're going to make more money when you take advantage of these buying opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's paper wealth.
I'm basically just trying to getting into investing and how to basically get more money by stocks and stuff like that. So if you have any recommendations on how to start that or advice, please share.
Yeah, John Doe, welcome to the program. We focus primarily on cryptocurrencies here. You can join our Discord. Click on one of our faces, go to our Instagram, go to our link tree, join our Discord. Mike just started a Patreon account. We charge $10 a month, and you can get access to Mike and I. And
before we close up the show, I do want to draw attention to our Patreon and tell you what we're offering people. So Noah and I basically want to blow this in terms of a value perspective, blow it out of the water for you guys. Like $10 a month, and I'll go through all the benefits here. So number one, we're going to do a weekly launchpad workshop for beginner crypto investors. What that means is that if you don't have a wallet set up, if you don't have an exchange account set up, we are going to help you get started on your journey. We cannot give you financial advice. We cannot tell you what to buy or sell. We can only give you how-tos and instructional things on how to set these types of things up. But we will not tell you what to invest in. We can tell you what to look for, what our analysis is. But we can't give you financial advice. Number two, technical support. If you run into any issues, if you don't know how to do something, you can drop in our technical support channel and we will get back to you. Someone from our mod team will get back to you. Okay, number three, long-term investment strategies. We're going to provide different opportunities that we believe will play out, and it's more long-term, maybe multiple months. Weekly altcoin analysis Q&A. You can come in our Discord at specific times each week, and you can ask us about any given altcoin. We'll do technical analysis on any altcoin that you bring to our attention. Okay, we don't do that during our shows. We will do that outside of the podcast. The podcasts are more us talking about the bigger industry. Next one, premium investor research report. So do you want to talk about the research reports, Noah, or the one sheets for 99 cents?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I mean, this is where I think a huge value is. Mike and I are pumping out these research reports. They are a starting kit, a starting guideline for you to do your research. So if you're interested in a new investment, say you're interested in the Brave browser, what we spoke about earlier in the show. If you're a member of our team, if you're a patron in our Discord, you get all our research for free. If you're not, you can buy these one sheets for 99 cents, and it'll basically tell you everything you need to know to get started on a certain project. And it'll also give you all the links you need to actually do further research if that's what you want to do. So definitely really valuable information there. We spend a lot of time on them. And if you find that we're very informative about this space, it's because we do our homework. It's because we do our research, and we're now allowing everyone to access our research through these one sheets. So definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your attention.
Right, and we do the important thing that's valuable for people that are reading it is we do grade everything based on all the projects that we looked at. We're going to be doing hundreds of these. So if there's any project in particular that you're interested in, you can just buy that one sheet for 99 cents. Or you can subscribe to our Patreon, which is $10. So, okay, next benefit. And the Patreon is patreon.com/talk.crypto. Talk, D-O-T, crypto, C-R-Y-P-T-O. So talk.crypto spelled out. Okay, next one, day/swing trading tips. So Noah and I will provide you signals from another channel that we subscribe to. And Noah has been providing those for free. Do you want to talk about that, Noah?
Yeah, look, I do trading every morning, and I put my trades up there. And if you want to trade with me, you're welcome to it. We have another guy, Joe Tech. He was on the program earlier. I'm not sure if he's still here. He does swing trading with us too. So if you want to do swing trading, and my swing trading is day trading. In the morning, I close my position at night. I try to get 10% return, and it's been working out well. Of course, I took some hits. But we'll talk about setting those stop losses and protecting your downside. Mike, how many more of these do we have to go through? Because you have already seen
just one. Okay. I thought it was going to be like a question, like, are we there yet? Okay. And then the last one is that we will give you access to community vetted ICOs. So we're going to do research on ICOs. And we're going to let you know about them before we tell anybody else in our community, provided that we've done our own research. And again, it's not a recommendation for investment. It's just saying, hey, look at this project. We're interested in this project. And, we're going to enter that as, our private community. So with all that said, patreon.com/talk.crypto. And we're going to start doing this week. So anybody that subscribes, just, send us a message wherever you can, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, drop a comment, wherever. And, we will schedule those times around you guys, as best we can.
Right. And I want to throw this one last thing out there, Mike, that we talked about. And for any of our listeners, we're hiring a research associate. We're currently looking for the right person. So if you think that you want to learn more about this industry, you want to spend some time and maybe make some money while doing that research, reach out to us, send us your resume. We'll review it. We'll give you a paid assignment. And if we like the work that you do, you might just be able to be part of the Talk.Crypto team and grow with us. So that's an awesome opportunity for people out there who are looking to make some money, but also learn about this space. Mike, I want to go to the last few calls before we finish up. John Doe, back to you. What's up?
Do I get nudes from the Patreon? No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Like, we're kind of, this is not like an OnlyFans or something like that. We're not going there. So, but
you do get. But
this is just a way for. Go ahead.
But one thing that you do get, which personally I have found to be so valuable, is that if you're looking to do research on cryptocurrency and you go on YouTube, there's so much clickbait, so much, to the moon videos out there that is just distracting and it doesn't really give good information. And what Mike and I have done is we've actually gone through and find the people that we really like, the analysts that have been in this space for a long time and that give great information, and we curate their content and we sift through all the BS out there and we just try and find the best analysts out there to give us the best information. So if you find yourself in that clickbait hole, in that tunnel vision when it comes to YouTube, this is a good way to cancel out all that noise.
Right, and we have an auto feed We auto post Twitter, YouTube, other sources as well. And we are going to keep that free probably for the next while, maybe next couple months. So just so our community can get a taste of it and see if they like it. And then eventually we'll probably move it to premium. The Patreon's kind of like the all-in-one package deal. And like I said, we wanted to blow this completely out of the water, just like we had with everything else with this podcast, and offer like crazy, crazy value. So yeah, definitely check it out. And if you have any questions, you can always message me or Noah, and we'll get back to you.
And I think a lot of our guys would attest. A lot of our guys that have been listening to us for the beginning, that they've already made money with us, right? So
BTCST baby, BTCST,
and ESRDL, which we talked about on like our first show. I've almost 15x'd in that. Which
what is going on with that? I mean, look, there's going to be so many opportunities.
So,
but it's just a price. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the value of the token? Like, who's actually buying this token?
Well, institutions are buying this token, but we'll get into that later. But my point is this: is that you get access to some tokens and some projects that maybe you weren't aware of that are worth your money. So definitely something to think about. Yeah, that's enough about that. We're not going to shill or sell anything else to you guys. Moving on. Satoshi, take us out of the show.
Amazing, Nomad, how you put that out. And I want to add to this. Here is, besides finding good projects, the most important lesson. It's psychology. When you invest into good stuff, not speculate, but when you invest into good stuff, you gotta survive the moment when it drops. You see, the chance you buy any good asset today, and within the next 5 years, it will not be at any point below what you bought now. It's like 10%, 15%, good for you. The moment you buy multiple projects, it's almost 0% that will happen. And it's a good chance you will go 20, 30, 50% down in that time. And this is where long-term wealth is created, and people actually become, wealthy people know that. You don't sell good assets when it goes down. You don't. You hold. And you put yourself in a position that you never can be forced to sell them. And that's so important. And if you don't learn this lesson, honestly, don't invest. Learn this lesson first.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, just to get compliments from a guy like Satoshi, I'm all for it. but he's
Noah, because you were saying you 15x on Federal Reserve. Is that because you staked it?
I've staked some of it. Absolutely, I've staked some of it, and then what I'm doing is I'm watching it and I'm buying the dips and I'm reaccumulating.
There you go.
And that's that's what I really want to get across to our listeners here is that I'm sitting, 30% of my portfolio is sitting in cash. And when people look at that, they say, dude, you have so much money there that is not even being leveraged. Like, what are you doing? And I'm telling them,
you're waiting.
I'm waiting. I'm being patient. I am going to build wealth because when that dips, I'm jumping in. And if you recall, Mike, on Saturday night, when Bitcoin dropped to 51,000, what did I do? I jumped on our Discord and I said, anybody else buying the dip with me?
Yeah.
I definitely bought that dip at 51. I'm definitely have more money today than I did on Saturday because I bought that dip. And, my question is anybody paying attention?
Well, here's the thing is that if you go all in, you are essentially marking the bottom. You're saying, nope, it's not going below this level.
Yep.
And there's a little thing called the 80-20 principle, and I want to apply it to certainty. You could never be 100% sure about anything. It's impossible. So just go in with a level of certainty that makes you comfortable, and that's what you should do. Like, what's your certainty that Bitcoin's going to keep going up? Okay, well, if you have a high certainty, right, and you have a lot of evidence behind that, then yeah, absolutely. So that's just our thought in regards to keeping cash in the sidelines. And with that, I think we're going to close up the show here. We're approaching an hour and a half.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I need to go get my nose stabbed. I'll be, for our listeners in the UK, hopefully I'll be in your neck of the woods this week. So I'll do our show from the UK. I'm looking forward to that. And thanks guys for tuning in today. It's been a great show. We covered a lot of great topics. We didn't do any real price action or get into any altcoins or market analysis today, but you can do that on our Discord. We have some great indicators that we'll pull up our charts and show you. If you have a coin and you're not sure whether now's the time to get out, ask us. We got great indicators that will tell us where the momentum is going in the market, where the momentum is going with that specific altcoin that you're interested in. And we'll definitely take the time and help you. We've gotten a lot of requests to help them with 3 commas, which is bot trading software. We're happy to do that. We've done that with about 3 listeners already last week on our show, and we get great feedback from them. The other thing I want to tell you guys is we have a great YouTube channel where we put out platform reviews. We put out if you missed the beginning of this program, we put that on YouTube as well, so you can go back and hear what we have to say. So, we're growing. Definitely don't sleep on Talk.Crypto. We got great people part of our community, and check it out. Join the Discord, get involved, and make some money.
Yeah. So, I just want to say this last thing before we close it out. Noah and I are not on the level of the average investor in terms of we just buy and sell these things. Myself, I have a technical background, and I actually go in these Discords and I try to, look for communities that I'm interested in being a part of, and I will actually try to improve the project. I'm not ready to talk about any of those projects yet that I'm, kind of trying to have a direct hand in. But that will differentiate us from every other show, every other news source for months and hopefully years to come.
So listen, guys, if you have any final thoughts, final words, now's the time to put them in. We're going to close the show in the next couple minutes. And this is the time for our callers to say their final words before we go. Mike, are you going to be on the Discord today? I know you're busy.
You know what? I will be available, but I will be available by text chat. But I'm going to be on. They have a computer coming. Maybe I shouldn't tell people some of this stuff. Okay, look, if you need to send me a message on Discord or drop something in the general channel, we like everybody to share everything. So I don't like when people send me DMs. I like when they just share everything with the community, because someone else can jump in on it and they might start talking to somebody else. And that will make it easier for us. And then it also makes it better for you, because you get to connect with other people that want to talk to you in the Discord. You might
or what I found is that this has been instead of saying gold, this has been Bitcoin for me, is when someone writes something on our Discord and then Satoshi just comes in and drops all this knowledge on them. It kind of just floors me, and it's like, wow, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't know this. I have to do some more. I have to do some more reading, some more research. I just think that our community is getting to be such an intelligent community. The people are learning so fast. One of the biggest complaints we had in the beginning, Mike, was that you're just too advanced for the beginner. And you told me, you told me, Mike, you said, screw that. They're gonna have to learn. We're not gonna dumb down. We're not gonna dumb down our content. We're gonna force our listeners to get smarter.
No. It's not about forcing, but it's just like, look, I'll try to, make it as easy as possible. Like Noah and I talk about market analysis is, compared to like predicting the weather, right? Like, if everybody thinks it's going to rain and you go outside and it's a sunny day and everybody's inside, you might do pretty well, because there's not going to be a lot of traffic on the road. That's the kind of we try to really make it simple metaphors for you guys. So, it's not going to connect with everybody, and that's okay. But we know that we've connected with a good chunk of our community. We got to, I don't even know if I don't want to share who it is, but one of our listeners is sitting in bed with his computer screen up, looking at our Discord and listening to our stereo podcast. So
awesome.
Just saying, not trying to, I'm just saying. Do what you will.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in the Discord.
Yo, awesome. Larry, awesome, man. Good to have you. Good to see you there. And definitely, if the listeners, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, it's worth your time. If you found this content to be good, you'll find even better stuff on our Discord, on our YouTube, and that's it, Mike. I got this last comment, one more from Larry, and then we out.
For everyone who's listening, hear my voice right now. It's time to get smart. It's time to educate yourself. It's time to find a way to feed your family.
That's right.
Am I skits for realizing Bunny Coin is a good future cryptocurrency investment?
Did he say? Did he say? Here, hold on. Did he say bunny? It sounded like he said bunny coin.
I think he was talking about Pancake Bunny, which, yes, sir,
Dude,
you are right.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding. You are right on.
That's awesome. I wonder if he found that on our YouTube channel. I'm willing to bet that he did.
I don't know, but that's the kind of thing. Like, if you're just tuning in and you're like, what? What's he talking about? Pancake Bunny? What? Yo, wake up. We both, Mike and I, are making money in Pancake Bunny. Not just Pancake Bunny, Pancake Swap. When Bitcoin dropped, the only thing that held strong for me and that keeps growing to this day has been Pancake Swap.
Right.
So, I mean, look, you want to get in some of these good coins that, possibly can weather the storm? Huh? That's what we're talking about.
Oh, shit.
That's our outro.
Production credit to Mike Larry Draw, Mr. Mike Larry Draw. Here we go. This is the outro song. We hope you guys enjoyed this show. Found some knowledge worth sharing with your friends.
Your speakers are
Feed your
terrible.
family.
Speakers are absolutely terrible.
You know what? Hold up. Cut the music.
It's just
cut the music, DJ. Okay, wait. Hold on. I had the DJ cut the music. Can you play it out your speakers?
No, I can't. Not because I don't want to.
Okay, well, you know what? You guys just got a little taste. So we're going to leave it at that, and we will see you in the next show.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow morning. We're back live here on Stereo. We'll see you on Discord during the day. Take care. We're out.
Adios, amigos. Links in our bio. Peace.